children to do. Y'all know this shit a Queen Quet, so if Hunter deal with me, Hunter going to know this shit was going on. And look here, we the cars right here. This the breezy. Our family, we think the Gullah Geechee from down in Bama, y'all Bama children, y'all know what's up. Y'all know I be coming down there and things like that. Y'all say, oh, we got all these people talk like this and all this stuff. Now, Breezy, tell me, you just got through telling me, Hunter Yeti, but we, the Gullah Geechee Nation, because you study anthropology. But what did you say happened to you when you heard about the Gullah Geechee Nation?
I got inspired. Like, I felt motivated to do something for my people. I felt motivated to try and teach the history, learn my history, and to tell other people that there are things that you can learn, that you can hold on to, that you can feel inspired by, like you can feel like a full person, you know? So like, you will understand why it's important to save Big Mama and Big Daddy house. And you will understand why it's important to not get a job and go and move away, but to come back home and make your house livable, make your neighborhood livable, to hold on to the land, you know, to understand where you come from and your roots. So that, like, learning about the Geechee, that was like, it was like my calling. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm here meeting you.
Now see where y'all ain't going. See, when y'all going into this year episode, y'all going to see me to crack my teeth in a Federal Reserve building, right? At the Midwest Assets Conference. Well, she been on the front row. When Hunter Chiller see me say, I just love you and your energy. This is what I've been talking about. Breeze been sending the breeze all at me, Hunter Chiller. And I'm telling you, but this is a chance for us to crack we teeth for who we be. So I'm like, something going on with this sister. She was in there, like she said, with that Baptist church rock, that Baptist church like this. The whole time, I said, the spirit moving. She was just trying to hold it down, you know, because, you know, we're supposed to be in a professional conference this morning. So she was trying to just contain herself. But we done now. So we shout on.
All right, getting a shout on. Oh my
so
goodness.
now you told me just like me, you got to get out of here. Though too much snow, too much ice, too much cold. You about to go home.
It's like, well, I want to have two homes. I want to have one here and one in Alabama.
So what are you doing here now? Are you still a student?
I'm still in school. I'm getting my master's right now.
Oh, wonderful.
So that I can set up culture centers and community museums.
Excellent.
Like, so I want, especially with the history of Detroit, how a lot of our people migrated from down
That's
south.
what I was talking about.
We do have a tie to this land.
We do.
And so instead of like a lot of times when I was growing up, people would tell us, you know, you get a job, you move out of it.
No.
Move out. And it's like, no, we need to save our families' houses. We need to learn our history and save our history, preserve our history here. But we can also travel, but like we can't just leave
don't
everything.
just drop and leave everything. Exactly.
So
that this way we hold on to our legacy, and so that people know everywhere, whether it's in the country or the city, we had a footprint there, not just the square footprint of the buildings that people are tearing down and demolishing, but our whole community, because then you tear out the community when you do that. So I'm happy to know you here. I'm happy to know you motivated, and you're going to be coming up and down, taking them train tracks our ancestors took. Yes, what a blessing.
Thank you so much.
So now Hunter Chiller, y'all done Yeti this year. So now we going to take Hunter inside the Midwest Assets Conference. Now if I motivate Hunter, you know what to do. Y'all know how to hit me. Y'all know who I be. This be Queen Quet, head from the body, the Gullah Geechee, and if Hunter chillin' deal with me, Hunter going to know this year the what's going on. Keep hold of your land, stand strong. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Due to Queen Quet's advancing the idea of keeping the Gullah Geechee culture alive, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, under the leadership of Queen Quet, worked with U.S. Congressman James Clyburn to ensure that the United States Congress would work to assist the Gullah Geechee. Queen Quet then acted as a community leader to work with the United States National Park Services to conduct several meetings throughout the Gullah Geechee Nation for the special resource study of low country Gullah culture. Due to the fact that the Gullah Geechee worked to become recognized as one people, Queen Quet wanted to ensure that the future congressional act will reflect this in its name and form. As a result, in 2006, the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Act was passed by the United States Congress and was signed in law by the President. Queen Quet was vetted with the U.S. White House as an expert commissioner in the Department of Interior. As expert commissioner, she was also the chair of the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor General Management Plan. Queen Quet also served as a member of the National Park Relevancy Committee and proudly continues to work to protect the environment and to ensure that the diverse groups of people engage in the outdoors and the policies governing them. Queen Quet has engaged in several White House conferences on this issue. She has also been a part of the United Nations COP22 Climate Change Conference in Marrakesh, Morocco. Queen Quet's global journeys are presented in weekly broadcasts on the Gullah Geechee TV. Queen Quet has appeared in and consulted for over a dozen films that range from full-length action films to historic documentaries. She was the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Consultant for the award-winning WGN TV show Underground, and she did similar behind-the-scenes work for the feature film The Patriot. Queen Quet herself has appeared in numerous documentaries. She has been interviewed by national and international media for television, radio, and print. She has been seen and heard on programs in Australia, China, Germany, Mexico, the Bahamas, Canada, England, Ecuador, and different countries in Africa. She is also the hostess of the Gullah Geechee Nation News and Gullah Geechee Written Radio. In September 2010, she spoke before a full house and received a 9-minute standing ovation at the United States National Press Club, and that's a tough group, right? In Washington, D.C., after she educated the crowd on the language and continuing traditions of the Gullah Geechee Nation. Queen Quet has won countless awards for being a woman of distinction for her scholarships, writings, artistic presentation, activism, cultural continuation, and environmental preservation. Queen Quet was chosen as the Together Green Fellow, Toyota, and the Audubon conducted a national search and chose Queen Quet to be part of this network of environmental conservationists. As a result, she created an ongoing program called Gullah Geechee C, that these are all caps, and Me, in which C stands for Saving Environmental Actions and Me stands for Marine Environment. This program focuses on intergenerational engagement and learning Gullah Geechee traditions that are beneficial to the Sea Island environment and promotes engagement in the United States citizen science activities. Queen Quet's accolades include the United States Jefferson Award for Community Service, the Jean Laney Folk Heritage Award for Gullah Advocacy from the state of Carolina, the inaugural Living Legacy Award from the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, the inaugural Hotep Award, the inaugural McVitie Betch, I'm sure I butchered that, Conservation Award, numerous Women of Distinction Awards, the National Black History Award being featured on the Wall of Heroes at the National Wilderness Society headquarters in Washington, D.C., and on the website of the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, as a Woman of Honor. She was also presented with the Ocean's Hero Award in Washington, D.C. She received several Queen Quet Day, Gullah Geechee Days, and Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week proclamations in various states. She received the Preserving Our Places in History Lifetime Achievement Award from the South Carolina African American Heritage Commission. The General Assembly of South Carolina also honored Queen Quet with Resolution 1453 for the work that she has done on behalf of her people, on behalf of the home state and the Gullah Geechee people, locally, nationally, and internationally. In 2018, the South Carolina Coalition for Voter Participation honored her with the Reverend Dr. B.J. Whipper Community Service Award for her tireless community service and for her spiritual, economic, and political contributions to her home state. I'm going to stop right here because, as you can see, she has done a lot. I could continue, but let's just say now she's in Detroit and honoring us and gracing us with her presence. So out of respect for the fact that she is the chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation and head of state of a sovereign state, let us all please stand so that we can receive her.
These your day. Plenty people know take the time. But know what day, right with it today. Let these children know. Now stand tall. Who they be? Red horse. Who he be? And things like that. Who he? Get you. Every dry long soap. Plenty of people today. This your time. Plenty is your lake today. Left from the creek. Left from the ocean. Where you on?
And what on yet about? For Carolina, where it was, Georgia, Florida, Boston. Yeah, did it. We left from down where we on the way we going to go off. Got that. Yeah, right script. When they get you. All right, thoughts, see. Everything. What change up just like that. You know, such a thing. Their thoughts, see. If we go on them, we ain't gonna have to do this, y'all. We will do y'all. It was such a thing. So plan it, you know. Get y'all. Experience thing. Rock down. Right now. And left on. Plan it. Reality. Hard. Right in the ice, y'all. Cause they ever know. Plain city. They ever want to be like. They're going in our field. They ever know, say. Everybody do nothing, huh? Everybody can make a pop on them. Just like that. See, if we ain't got it in the house, we go out on them, then the quick put it all shut up again. And then count on them. Yeah, there's such a thing, yeah. They don't hide everything, yeah, indoors. And when they go factory. So that children get you. They haven't know how to make it. Look for some of the recipe. Look how you eat like a dish. The children ain't standing tall. Say, where they from? So scack-a-leg. You know that. Had them here from Mississippi. Had them here from Bama. Had them here from Louisiana. Had some even Texas. Yes, sit down. Man, I didn't get you. Is that true? No. I want to know. See, you go in and like, oh no? No. Still a problem. It's all this shit. What I did. Yeah, like a wheel. Something funny one. What's wrong with catch him? Yeah, now I'm putting them like, we now put them home. Have to do so much to this young thing for make them even tell say he got something. And what's going on? See, ain't no salt, did it? See, what? Whatever we did, salt was it, did it? We supposed to be the salted out. So ain't no salt did it, ain't no seasoning did it. Ain't no salt did it like that. Tell us ain't no flavor did it. They say, what kind of cracky people is? And like them like this shit. I like big water it. Ain't no salt did it. They say, no, yeah, let's get the fresh water. So, oh! So maybe that's why the rest of people up here now catch on like a weed. See them just stay like this year. Most of the day. And coming in like this year. And then going out like this year. And coming in like this year. And going out like this year. Just stay like this year. So maybe then stay like that too. Move. Let's somebody throw them on a belt. They make them go through. Like that thing we had it once we get in that factory. And do this your one thing. Over. I believe water think like that, and no wonder they can't understand two things. You have to start to be like that, but they don't understand who one another. So after a while, we start realizing, and people there, by them lakes, they do that one thing over and over and over. And they become like that one body that only moves when all the rest of the pieces are put together. And that's the only way they move. Where we are, everybody do a whole bunch of different things. Drum down like this, they have anything like that. But then when they deal with the other rest of the people, they can speak their way as well.
It just depends on where you are. What's the environment that you're in? But if you get so stuck in a routine like a factory part, you become yourself. You think you're only working one part, but you become that one part. And then what happens is the rest of the synapses in your brain turn off because they're never learning anything else. You just keep doing that one thing over and over and over. And you and your whole life becomes that one thing done over and over and over. And you don't move from that spot unless a conveyor belt gets beneath you and moves you somewhere else, or they shut it down. And then your mind goes, well, what are we doing now? And then you realize all that time you covered yourself in believing you were going somewhere when you really weren't moving past that spot on the factory floor. You hadn't really experienced other things and other cultures and other people. So when other cultures and other people started coming in and they started meeting you, and because they didn't sound like you do, you looked at them like they were crazy. But the point was that you had shut down that part in your brain that continued to move and to change and to be altered and to learn. And so therefore you got complacent in that spot and you didn't realize anything needed to change until they shut the factory down. Something had to change then, because when you went there, the door was locked. You couldn't get in. There was nothing for you to do that you were used to doing, just over and over, that thing that you had learned, that they had trained you, that you don't have to think about anything else. Just stay in your position. Just stay in your place. Just put that head inside that hole. Just make sure that car goes with that wheel. Just make sure that if your job is to screw it in, that your tool is working. Just make sure that you do what we tell you, don't you dare think. And then maybe eventually you'll get to the point where you can retire. In a Motor City, you start talking about tires. It's a wonder what's that mean, really. Are we retreading them, or are we stopping what we're doing altogether for life? What does it mean to retire? Does it mean that if we change something that we could get out here on the road and we could move a little faster than we did when we had it tired the way it was the first time? Or what does that mean? Retire. Does it mean just kick back with my feet up, and do I have enough money to do it? And if I did, what would I do with the money? And now that I think about it, let me check my bank account, and then when I look, well, there ain't much to check. The bank asks you, why are you here? Because all that time that I was doing the same thing over and over, part of that routine was get up, go to the factory, do the work. Every 2 weeks, get the check, take it over here, put it into the bank. Then they said, you don't even need to come here. We'll deposit it electronically. You stay there. You work. You do this. While you do this, we'll move your money for you. Were you watching where it moved to? Because part of it did move to that person that owned that building that you live in. Part of it did move from there to the bank that owned the building that the person thought they owned that you live in. But they didn't really understand what the word mortgage meant. But then, when them Geechees came, and they started bringing the village of folks with them to the Midwest, they never understood who that person was that came once a month on the first, that you opened your door with the chain on it first, and then you pushed it back, and then you opened the chain, and then you handed them an envelope. At first, they didn't know who that man was. But after a while, they realized who he was, and they realized that that mean all that time that you putting those things together every day, you work for him? Thought you said you worked for some other company.
You really work for him. And he worked for the bank that owned the house that he think he owned. So we said, that don't make no sense to us. So the same way they didn't understand us when we've been to crack we teeth like this shit, we don't understand. Say, these people up your car can't think I got that. Maybe because I iced in the bread. It's a little too cold up here. So maybe that slows down a lot more than we think. So therefore, let us do what we do, and that's put the village together, because to us, you own your land. When you own your land, own it, then nobody comes and knocks anywhere on the door unless they come in to visit your house. And that ain't the bank. That ain't no other man, unless he's somebody you want to date or something like that. When you own it, they come to visit you. Some visitors are nice. They have what we call Southern hospitality. They see that a whole bunch of people live there too. They see a village of folks. They see this is a family compound. They just heard you say, hey, cuz, how am I gonna do? All right. How am I gonna do? Oh, he will. Thank God. God bless you. Okay then, girl. See you on the later. Okay then. They heard that. They know whose land they're on. So when they show up, there ain't no signs there. But they come talk about, do y'all want to sell this? Sell what? Sell this property. What property? Ain't no car out here, nothing for sale. And I need that tractor you see right there. No, I mean the land. What you asking now? What you say just now? What did you say? Because see, it's a little early. I was asking, ma'am, or ma'am now. Yes, ma'am. I was asking if you want to sell the land. Who land? What land that is that you asking me about selling? Because you see any signs around here?
That's right.
Now look here. Now we ain't first got this show water. We learned what the thing like that. We don't have the word sale in Gullah at all. So we learned it in your language. S-A-L-E. Now let me see now. Ain't nothing around here got that printed on it. So why would you risk your life coming here to ask me if I want to sell something that I ain't put no ad out here for? Now, sir, let me tell you one thing. We ain't just get here to now.
That's right.
Now, we built where you come from, all the so-called America. So we know your language, even though we know ours too. Now that word sale, y'all have had in your mouth a lot for a long time. In fact, that's how we got here. You put up signs about what was available for sale at Evo, the Mandinka, the Malinke, the Yoruba, the Gullah, the Geechee. In fact, you went so far as to say, got a cargo black gold for sale. Now look, your 100 children done know us here. Ain't nobody calling nothing rich if richness and gold all the time. So the black gold is still here, and it ain't for sale, and neither is this property that our blood, our sweat, and our tears is in. So before I even step back on this porch, sir, where I got a couple numbers, a 3 and an 8, I would recommend that you go head on.
That's right.
Back across the bridge that brought you across here now. Because it's too early in the morning to be fooling up with foolishness. Well, ma'am, I didn't mean to offend you or nothing. You ain't got to worry about all that. Go on, get in your car. Well, ma'am, just if you ever want to think, but I could leave my card, sir. I ain't stopped my fire yet this morning. If you leave that card, it'll be a good starter. So go on, get your card, sir. Get your card and get off my property. All right, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You ain't got to bring no card to me. You ain't got to carry nothing around this road. that same road right there will bring on in your cat on the back. All right. All right. Well, you have a good morning, man. Oh, I sure will. I sure will when I see the back of your car. I sure will. Huh. Come up in here with that foolishness about somebody want to sell somebody. How they figure that? We supposed to be putting our whole family back on the auction block nowadays after all it took for we to get out of that auction block situation as it was. But big shooting thing become like that and thing like that. We were so glad and all that we jubilee we finally, y'all, we've been through all of this, y'all. And this man come here this morning. Lord help me. As my ancestors would say, help me for whole out, God. Because I know that children ain't there you know how to do this shit. And cracky one was going city. Hell, I tell her for going on a get education, come back home. Send that money back for the tax. Instead, they did the party, they did the club, they did everywhere. But where they posted free till they full. We did still. I walk this your land. Everybody has something now upon. And come here top of sell. I supposed to sell Big Daddy, Mama, Great Granddaddy, all the chillin', and my chillin'. God help me. But hold out. Hey, cuz. Hey, what going on? Who there with it? Ain't there now? Where you come from? And I ain't gonna believe where you come from. Where you come from? Come for all of we. That thing I know say land of we family. Rather what say this water chuck that we bloodline. Say well you know. Then I want that destruction in. There you go, you got it. Gullah yet it even a kind all around to you. Come from north, you know. Come from up there and thing like that. Some even scared of that cold now. They're the kind south. But they ain't want it to be cool no more. Well, still your cool gonna keep up there because we ain't want you down here. You cool that thing off. We had a nice and hot, like that good old grits. Yeah, I'll set you up with that grits. I've been acquiring in there for my grits a while ago. Tell that broke up man come here and mess up my day. I ain't first hungry no more. Hey, I don't get weak. I ain't gonna never get weak. So I ain't have a way with that. But we gonna have to let these children know. All the rest of people don't understand what they got. Do they understand what they got? I said, no, I ain't think so. I ain't think they understand what they got. But can't fault them. How come I can't fault them? I said, because if they ain't know, I said, I understand, they just don't know. But I want to know better. I'm supposed to do better. Yes, ma'am. I say, I got where corner came from. They send you to school and they tell you, say, if you look like a weed, you come from a slave. There ain't no people there. They're the things. So who will be a king? No, I won't be a king. You ain't got no sense, you ain't got no religion, you ain't got no spirit, you ain't got no culture. Well, you a king. This a king. Who cares? My boots a king. Who cares? You ain't want to be that. And if it said how to come from people, whatever it called black gold. Ha! Yeah, now we talking. That's the richest thing. Ain't it? They tell them children say come from slave and they tell them say some of the slave run loose and when it get loose it gone north. And tell them say somebody they over in Canada and then tell them say well some come back in over across the lake and they settle and thing like that. They always settle into. That's a good question, but they didn't tell me that part. I said most of them children, if they ever buy up no building and buy up no land for Bulma building on, They said leaning just over Brook. They called him a job. And they had him tell somebody else take him. Because see, other some people think easy for take. Where you on? We ancestors left this your land until we work together, children. Don't you get weary. Said this your bigger be where we great camp meeting temple. And tell one of us go nowhere else. And when the line start for shift because of the hurricane today, okay then, son and children gone. They gone north. And train come, the children gone north. But they act like the train ain't been running back south. They act like they ain't gonna never come back. Now people ain't first know who the other cousin is talking about, oh yes, I do believe I'm your cousin. You believe it, but I don't. Who are you? Well, you know, my family actually is from Ohio. Well, then you're not my cousin. No, but wait. Well, you said your family is from Ohio. Yes, well, then you're not my cousin. My people ain't from Ohio. Well, no, but listen. Okay, listen to what? Because you had started off wrong already, and I ain't going to give you too much more. My time is valuable. What you want? Well, no, what I'm saying is that, I mean, when I said my family, right, I just meant like my nuclear family. Oh, y'all blowing up stuff. Huh? Yeah, you just mentioned nuclear now. I mean, what we talk about? Renewable energy? What are we talking about? No, ma'am, no. What I'm saying is, you know, my mom and my dad, okay. My sisters and my brother and I, right? We have all been in Ohio for the last 2 generations. Okay. And you're telling me this, why? Because now, you know, I'm doing some genealogical research. Oh, here we go. And I decided to do my DNA. Jesus help me. And I think I could possibly be Gullah Geechee. Why do you think that? Well, you know, the DNA came back and said that I'm from West Africa, and hello, and who isn't? Well, I saw a documentary that said the Gullah Geechee, the Gullah Geechee, oh yes, the Gullah Geechee are from West Africa, and who isn't? Well, so I said, so let's get straight. So you extrapolated that into an entire historical legacy about your family? That could potentially mean that you are Gullah Geechee simply because something said West Africa and you heard we were from West Africa. Darling, do you know how big West Africa is? And do you realize that actually when they say Gullah Geechees are from West Africa, we're not all from West Africa. We are also from Central Africa, and there was some from Madagascar, and that people would walk to the coast of West Africa because it is coastal, that ships had to leave from there. They couldn't leave from the middle of Africa. That's why they say that. So, you know, I know y'all can't get a refund back on that ancestry stuff, but come on. You are talking to someone who likes logic. And my time is valuable. Now what you want, girl? Because you coming for something. Because we ain't been hearing from y'all before. What you want? Well, my parents are about to retire. Ding, 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 ding. And we were wondering about land availability. See right there, now see right there, darling. Now see, I knew you were going there when you started driving in my direction. Let me tell you what, I get what you're trying to do, but if you were part of us, you would know already. Because we haven't left. We've been on the Sea Islands from the 1500s until now. And then in the 1600s is when they really started bringing in literal gangs of Africans and placing them on the Sea Islands. So we kind of know everybody, and we didn't leave. So what's your last name? Oh no, darling, I've never heard that last name where we are in my life. So I get it. I get wanting to attach and I get wanting to detach from the frozen area and the cold in the Midwest. And it looked real nice to be in a semi-tropical atmosphere, but let's don't use that "I think you kidding me" stuff. Because if you were, you would never think there's just land available. Your family would still own that land, and you would know your family. And if you were kin to them, then you'd know where you should be going. You wouldn't have to come buy anything. Because those who live our traditions have held on to their land. They've held on to that property. Even if they had to go to court and fight with everything within their beings, they held on to it. Because why? Our elders and our ancestors taught us that at some point, your family that ran away during the Civil War might come back looking for us. So we ain't going nowhere, so they'll know where home is at and they can come on back. In spite of hurricanes, in spite of destructionaires building bridges and finding us and now having a Columbus-esque attitude like they lost something and now it's found because they got there. They keep coming in and we keep telling them that same road bring you in here. Carry you on back. Now, if you want to tell me, because I'm getting ready to get to the next part, that little girl, you need to go home and ask your mom and daddy this. Ask them, did they ever pay land tax in South Carolina, Georgia, or Florida? Did they pay 1 penny worth of it? How long you said they've been up here? 2 generations. 2 whole generations. Have y'all ever sent $1 back home? Have anybody seen you at a family reunion? Have you come to anybody's home-going service? Because they will let you know when the tax due, because around this time of year the bill come out. Now if you ain't paid a penny worth of nothing, it's kind of interesting that you suddenly setting your eyes on it. Because what happened? They foreclosing on property where your mom and daddy live now? What, you need something to drink? How did you know that? Darling, I know a lot. And I don't speak everything I know. But I saw you coming before you walked up to me. I just ain't tell you to go back before you got in my face. Because I wanted to give you an opportunity to learn something. Go home, sit with your parents, and listen. Because the problem with this generation is you don't want to listen to nobody. Mm-hmm. Everybody want to talk, everybody want to tweet, everybody want to text, but nobody want to listen. Mm-hmm. Herein lies the problem. You learn more when you listen. Now, the way older people taught us, no man's child don't taste no grace. But manners going to take on where money came. And sometimes it's just mannerable, even if you thinking in your mind that you right, you better rock like this little girl doing and keep your opinion to yourself. Mm-hmm. And listen. Don't tune out, don't zone out. But you know one thing? Folks see me in my apron, y'all see me with my head covered in the morning, y'all forgot I got a degree too. Mm. I'm a computer scientist, so I know how they programmed you. And I know that they're daily programming you, that's why you think you got to be tethered to that dummy box, click, 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 or to the personal digital assistant that you think you're putting apps on and it's telling you how to apply yourself or not to, actually. It's programming you. Because you don't even know how to look at folks that sit and tarry a while and communicate. Right. And you don't realize that your assets you're looking for are right in front of you. That the culture of the community you're in is the richest thing you'll ever have. If you got thinking people there. Not the ones that just still doing the same thing over and over, but the ones that y'all call thinking outside the box. So I said, well, maybe I need to go online myself and see what they're looking at. Let me go look at a couple of words, like leverage. Because see, to me, leverage requires force. And I remember studying engineering and, I thought about the fact that,
work and force, and it's work, it's force over distance. And when I realized that that's what they were talking about, I said, well, that's the problem. If they're sitting down all the time looking at a screen, they ain't working because they ain't moving no distance.
That's right.
So they're under an illusion. So then I looked it up and they said, actually, work is integral force over distance of displacement. I said, I ain't got the last part because they're good for coming in and trying to put somebody else out and displace them. They do work at that. But now, do they realize that that's not equitable just because you have the ability to use force? Because then I said, well, maybe something wrong, because I'm looking at leveraging something we already have, that we've had for all these hundreds of years, that is our mother wit, that's our knowledge, our wisdom, our understanding, that we can use as black gold to create more richness, that would be the profit for the next generation, profit with an F and profit with a PH. But maybe they don't know what that is. Because to leverage is also to use something to the maximum advantage. But they ain't using what they got, even minimally. So I looked it up and they said, oh, use borrowed capital for an investment, expecting the profit made to be greater than interest payable. The ratio of a company's capital, its debt, to the value of its company's stock, its equity. And I said, equity, wait a minute. Equity is something that in communities of people of color, we still looking for. But if we're not looking at our own selves as our own assets, then maybe that's how come others are using it and leveraging it against us. And they're doing the same thing they did in the transatlantic slave trade. Come and get the knowledge, extract it from the community, take it somewhere else and exploit it to your benefit, while you then deplete us of that benefit and displace us from that community. Herein lies the problem. So, they do use exertion of force. They use it in an integral way, and that integral said it was necessary to make a whole, complete, essential, or fundamental. And I said, got it. What a capital idea. So they're not looking at what I'm looking at. When I look at equitable, it's fair and impartial. When I look at equitable, it's valid and equity as distinct from law. So in other words, if this is rightfully what you are an heir to, you need to remain the heir to it. Not that I get attorneys and pierce the veil of it and now come in and then by law become also an heir, even though I ain't kin to it. But then I have the same level of rights. Because instead of me just communicating with the family and with the community and with those we grew up with intergenerationally, we talk about how we can't stand that. Well, we all gonna be standing on the curb with our stuff if we don't work together in our neighborhoods. Because the capital here said, capital actually means excellent. As in a capital idea. So my idea was, the definition of wealth is, of capital is wealth in the form of money or other assets owned by a person or organization or available or contributed for a particular purpose. And my particular purpose for which I was created was to ensure that the Gullah Geechee Nation from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, on those sea islands and 30 to 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River would remain Gullah Geechee owned, because Special Field Order number 15 issued by William Tecumseh Sherman during the U.S. Civil War, what we would call a big shooting thing when it started, said that from Charleston and all the abandoned rice fields southward, no white shall dwell herein. And then they came with the bridges in the 1900s and they forgot what that said. So even up to this moment, they're trying to move us out. They're trying to leverage things against us. But it's up to us to know that we are still that black gold. We are still that asset that is available to work the land, to go out and harvest from the water, to be able to feed the rest of not only the United States that we built, that we are the cornerstone of, but the world. But we have to know that it's a capital idea to value your own people in your own community, and that every community should do that. There ain't no reason to suddenly figure that nobody has a new idea other than you. There are people that are yet being born that can be your prophets and can help you make profit if you respect that they have something of value. But how do you work together, children? How do you leverage those assets? How do you build on them? How do you leave richness for future generations? It's when you turn off the phone. It's when you turn off the computer. Even if you're an undertaker, they're going to hold the body till that session is over, believe me. You'll be all right. Tarry with one another and listen to each other in the communities. Find out what is valuable to that community.
That's right. That's right.
And see how you can make that better, enhance it, not feel the only way to do something is the last cookie cutter model that you saw in another state somewhere that involved bulldozers.
Yes.
We talk about remediation of buildings. We need to be remediated ourselves. And we need to rehabilitate our mindset, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's where the richness comes from, is when you start to value the mind and have it set in a place that says there's value in everybody.
That's right.
There's value in every community. And what are we going to be able to do with that value we have together in the places we live? We don't all have to move. We don't all have to migrate. We can use this word they use in environment now, adapt. We are resilient. God made it so, or we still wouldn't be here. Trust me. I live in a hurricane zone and have stayed home through multiple hurricanes, and I write you anything like that. And so God says, stay and pray. And when I say, if God said go, pack up and go. Ain't no time for one little thing about them. Call your friends, what you gonna do. You ain't got time with all that. God said go.
That's right. That's right.
But when you go, know there's a goal you're going to. And I would hope that goal would bring you back home to still enrich your community, so that you know what assets you have there. And you build up some capital ideas here in the Midwest, so that when I come up here, I ain't got to be so cold. And that cold I'm talking about ain't outside. I'm not talking about outside. I love coming to Detroit because I meet a lot of country folk up here. I love it. I always call Detroit country north. Okay. They eat grits like me. They made sweet tea for me special last night. They ain't had me choking like the rest of the Midwest talking about this is tea with the sugar. Because in life you got to take the bitter with the sweet, but as often as you can get the sweet, it's up to you to put it in there. So that's the blessing, is when you know you value self, so you value others, then you can have a community, because it'll unify you what you have in common. And that's the capital idea. Thank y'all for having me.
Give it up one more time for Queen Quet, everyone.
That was my amen corner, literally over there. I love them. I said, I'm going up in there and shout right there. It wasn't fun. They got time for any questions? Or no?
I don't think we do.
Oh, you see how they did y'all?
I'm so sorry.
Teach them how to tell time, y'all, because see, if they had padded that time up and they started earlier, then y'all would have had time, y'all. They did all the long introductions and stuff. That's all right. But y'all have some time, because y'all have a break coming up shortly. And we do have books and CDs and other things here for sale, that all the funds go back into the work that we're doing to fight to hold on to our land in the Gullah Geechee Nation. I just want to point out a couple things real quick to them before you introduce your next part. There are two things in particular. This book, We Be Gullah Geechee, this is about cultural capital and collaboration. This one is my latest anthology.
and this is my latest book actually, A Place for We. This tells you about the black townships in the Gullah Geechee Nation. We would never have had them if people didn't find out how to work together and to build up those townships. And unfortunately, because of integration, a lot of those townships have died off. But we're still fighting to hold on to all the communities that surround the incorporated townships. So these two I wanted to point out in particular because of your topic here and all the work you're doing here. And just because I picked on Ohio, the rest of y'all don't get, the rest of y'all don't slide. I know the rest of the Midwest up in here. And Minnesota, I'm about to become an asset of yours because I'll be back at University of Minnesota next fall once again. I'll be up there for a while. So if you bring me your business cards and stuff or want to fill out one of these, then I'll keep you on my database. But you can follow at Gullah Geechee. It's in your book. It's inside your book right there, next to my face and all of that's in here. All right? At Gullah Geechee is on Twitter. But GullahGeecheeNation.com is the way to follow us directly and know all the work we're doing and everything. All right? And then we're also on Instagram, it's at Gullah Geechee as well. But we're Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook. So if you wondered, how can that one man take your pictures? They told us don't take no pictures. Who he is? He with me. And so, as long as you don't have warrants, your picture's going on Facebook. Right? So, but I have a question for you. How did you create your cloud?
So that, she's referring to the word cloud on the back.
On the back.
I put all the words on our agenda into like a word cloud thing, and it just...
And it generated this. Now y'all would wonder, why did I ask that? Because usually the way word clouds are generated, it's the word that came up the most in a particular session or whatever that are the biggest words. And y'all will notice Queen is huge on here. Quet is huge, but it's right between the words financial will. So I was very happy to see that. So I wanted to know, thank you, Lord, I received that. Because I'm at the bank. These brothers will help me carry my stuff out. I'm good. So I thank you for that. I wondered how you did it. I wondered if y'all had something to do with it. I was going to applaud y'all for what you did. But all right, thank you, ma'am, and thank y'all all. Love y'all.
One more time.